Saint George and the Dragon. Saint George and Dragon. Chapter 1. The Deserted Dragon. A king was strolling on his battlements one day, as he admired his kingdom, he saw a dark shape in the distance. It came closer and closer, oh no, and closer. Wow. It was a dragon. Its eyes flashed like a fire. As it flew, it let out a mighty roar, and just of yellow flame shot from its mouth and nose. The king screamed, "Help, George!" to the roof. Now! The dragon screamed in the loop around the castle. He roared again, and the bird flew died of its assist. The king rushed onto the roof to see what the king was shouting about. The dragon roared once more. The set 5 fields on fire. The dirt stand in order. "Stop that dragon!" ordered the king. "It's going to burn us all to cinders." His guard hastily filled their bows as the dragon stooped through the sky around through the air. Each arrow hit the dragon, but then, ping, 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 the arrows bounced off the dragon's torch scales. The dragon laughed. "You can't hurt me, but feed me once a day and I'll leave you alone." The king agreed. What else could he do? Bring food to the cave by the lake," said the dragon, and with one last roar, it flew away. Chapter 2. Feeding the Beast. The next morning, the king's stork crept to the cave. They left to feed juicy sheep for the dragon to eat. When they came back the next day, the sheep were gone. The dragon ate 2 sheep a day until there wasn't a sheep left in the kingdom. "We'll have to feed it cows instead," sighed the king. The next morning, George brought the dragon 2 cows. As they were leaving, the dragon opened on eyes and scolded. "I don't like cows. Bring me something else to eat," it said, "or I burn your kingdom to the ground." So the judge went to a nearby farm and fished some plump young chicken. "How about this?" These, said the leader of the judge. "Yuck! I hate chicken," snarled the dragon. "Bring me something else." The judge laughed again and came back with pigs and goats instead. Luckily, the dragon liked those. Clearly, it soared them down a flue bullet. "I'm still hungry," he grumbled. "Bring me a princess," roared the dragon. "I want something sweet for a change. And don't pretend you don't have any princess," he added, glaring at the judge. I know the king has a daughter. I saw her as I flew over his castle. Bring me her to me tomorrow at sunrise, the dragon went on, or I burn the kingdom to the ground. It let out a brush of white hot flame to show that it meant what it said. The girl rushed back to tell the king that terrible news. Chapter 3 Princess in Fear. When the king heard the dragon's threat, he went white. I won't allow it, he declared. Not my daughter. But father, I have to go. I have to go, said the princess, or he'll burn us all. The king knew she was right. With a heart as heavily as he led, he ordered his groom to get the princess ready. Early the next morning, the princess rode to the dragon's cave. It was fast asleep. The princess saw its sharp pointed teeth and shuddered with fear. As the sun rose pink over the hills, she heard the sound of hooves. Was it her father coming to say a last goodbye? But it wasn't the king. It was a handsome knight on a beautiful white horse, carved a long lance in the one hand. When he saw her, he gave a cheerful grin. Hello, I'm George. I heard about the dragon, he said. I'm here to help. The princess was overjoyed. Don't be afraid, princess, George yelled. His wishes lance. I'll save you. Thank you, George, the princess whispered. But please, she added, could you be as quick as possible as you ride closer, or you walk the roar? Too late. The dragon reached up on its scaly legs. It was awake and ready for a fight. Chapter 4 George to the rescue. George whirled around to face the dragon. Flame shot out of his nose. They looked at George, but he didn't move away. Instead, he tossed his lance with a powerful blow. It should have circled the dragon right through. But this dragon's skin was as hard as diamond. George's lance bounced off the dragon's belly, pushing George back. It fell from its horse to the ground with a cutting thump. The dragon roared the spot and another finally called at George. The princess looked on in terror. Was her rescuer going to need rescuing himself? George staggered to his feet. He reached for his lance, ready to charge again. It was no good. George's lance bounced off the dragon's scales, and he fell to the ground once more. George, look! The princess cried. All of a sudden, there's aren't any scales on its nose. George peered closer, sure enough the dragon's nose was soft. It didn't have any scales there at all. Well, Spot Princess, said George, but as he prepared to attack, the dragon began to lash its head from side to side. George looked around and had an idea. Princess, pull off your bag, tie a rope at the end of the path it to me. The princess was puzzled, but she did as she asked. Thank you, Princess, said George. He swung her bag around like a lasso and threw the rope over the dragon's head. Then he pulled that tight and drew the end of the princess. Hold on, ordered George. George, said George, ordered George, and leapt onto his horse. Before the dragon knew what was happening, George charged with his sharp lance. With the princess holding the dragon's head, George spurred its soft nose. Blood spurted out. The dragon holding climbed. It gave a great roar and to break free. Held in pain, it gave a great roar and tried to break free. Tried to break free, but it was well and truly caught. Now, dragon, said George, I'll let you go if you promise me you'll leave this kingdom and never ever eat a human. The dragon nodded sulkily. But if I heard that you're broken your promise, said George, pointing to his lance. The dragon took the hint and flew away as fast as its wing would carry it. Chapter 5 A Hero Reward. George and the princess rode back to the castle and told the king the whole story. You saved my darling daughter, cried the king. How can I ever repay you? He offered George a heap of shining golden coins. You could buy your own castle. No, thank you, said George, shaking his head. Gold is too heavy to carry when I'm on an adventure. Said the king, and he offered George a pair of fine horses. Their birds were studded with gems, and their coats gleamed like moonlight. I like this horse. Thank you, sir, George said, but I have a horse. How about half of my kingdom? How about half of my kingdom? Said the king, who was running out of ideas. No, thank you, said George quickly. All I really want is another adventure. And with that, George rode off into the distance, looking for more dragons to destroy. The end.